Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. On today's show is Patrick Mahomes on his way to superstardom in the NFL. Plus, Insecure's Sarunas Jackson joins the show to discuss his career, LeBron in LA, and plenty more. And can Ezekiel Elliott become an all-time great? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Patrick Mahomes led the Chiefs from 10 down in the fourth to beat the Broncos last night. He had another 300-yard passing game, and he now has 14 touchdowns, 0 interceptions this season. Kansas City is still undefeated, but they do host the Jaguars on Sunday. We are joined by FS1 NFL analyst D'Angelo Hall. Good morning. Thank you for being here. But I will start with Shannon on this one. From what you've seen, how great can Mahomes be?
He can be great. He can be an MVP, great, because they've surrounded him with young talent that's going to be there for the foreseeable future. Andy Reid's not going anywhere, and they put him in a system that's tailor-made for what he can do. Andy coached Brett Favre, who made a lot of plays skip outside of the pocket. His improvisational skill was second to none. Brett had wheels. Brett was faster than people thought. You blitz him, you didn't get home, he could throw the ball over your head, or he could scramble and get first down. Now, I think Mahomes might be a tad faster than Brett. Arm strength, very comparable. Very, very comparable, Skip Bayless. He can be an MVP. And from what I've seen last night, he's learned a lot by sitting on the bench last year. He played the last game, which was a throwaway game. They didn't want to get Alex hurt because they're going to the playoffs. Skip, this dude, he has it. He has what you can't teach. The skill set to be able to throw the ball from different platforms, rolling left, rolling right. Now, you don't want him to try and make a living, Skip, constantly throwing them back across his body. He got away with those. And sometimes when you have success doing something, you feel, man, that's easy. I can make a living doing that. Nah, you don't really want to make a living because that'll come back up to bite you at the least opportune of times. But the ability to throw the ball, because you saw him in preseason throw the ball 70 yards on a dime against Atlanta.
He did.
And then you saw him rolling left, rolling right. Okay, Vaughn's about to sack him, flips the ball. He can be an MVP. He'll be a guy that we'll be talking about for a very, very long time.
I agree. I totally agree. Everything you said. When you think about Patrick Mahomes, I wanted to see what he looked like when the rush came. And you aren't going to face two better rushers than Chubb and Von Miller. And so for him to be able to elude those guys and get out of pressure and show that he can win a game that's not always pretty, and that's what I wanted to see. Could he have some adversity? Could he not have a great first half and rally back? And being down 10 points and coming back in the fourth quarter and coming back out of there with the win? I mean, I think we're all I'm not going to say we're all, but the public, I think, is underselling Andy Reid's value here, because if this kid is with another coach, I don't know if he's as great as he is now. Wow. But Andy Reid, man, and his ability to just put players in position to make plays, especially young, talented quarterbacks. I think we always consider John Gruden a quarterback guru because he had the show. But Andy Reid, to me, is the best quarterback coach. Having talked to Mike Vick about his transformation from being just the athletic guy who can throw to really understanding offenses and knowing where to go with the ball. I mean, Mike loves Andy, and I can tell why, because what he did for Mike, you can see him doing it for Patrick Mahomes. And, I mean, that kid's amazing.
And Gruden was the offensive coordinator under Andy in Philly.
And Donovan McNabb has told me many times what Andy did for him, because he made Donovan probably look even better than Donovan deserved to look for a long time.
Yep, he's a great mind.
Now, when it comes to defense, that's an afterthought for Andy Reid.
That's not his cup of tea.
It's not his cup of tea. So I'm going to remind everyone, remember when Cam opened as a rookie? Remember what happened in the first 4 games?
Right.
Magic happened. He goes for 422 in his opener at Arizona. Then he goes home against Aaron Rodgers and throws for 432. And then in the 4th game of the year, he threw for 374. And those are the top 3 totals of his career. Of his career? How did that happen? I still can't process that one.
Yeah.
Right? Cam
right. Yeah.
just it was like an avalanche of passing yards. And that's when I thought, my God, he's going to revolutionize football, because he was also starting to run for touchdowns too, but it wasn't that much. The problem was they lost all 3 of those games, and then the second problem was he never even got close to those games going forward. So he found sort of this medium area where he's a pretty good pocket passer. He's a really good runner with the football, and when you put them both together, you had one MVP year. So is it possible that Patrick Mahomes will come back to earth a little bit? It is possible, because I still say last night through 3 quarters, he was hit and miss. He'd thrown for 151 yards, and he was barely over 50% completions until, as you point out, the 4th quarter. And that's when I'm on the edge of my seat thinking, uh-oh, here we go. It's loud. It's crazy. Shannon knows all too well how loud it can get in that place.
You can see the cameras. It was
It's
shaking.
The stadium is shaking. It's a division game against a division opponent, but not a great division opponent. This is not this is not 3 or 4 years ago Denver defense.
No.
Right?
No, but it's a good.
It's still a good team.
It's decent.
Decent. You put it decent.
Okay, so he was special in the 4th quarter, because 13 out of 16, he made all the throws, but he made a lot of throws. He won the game more with his legs than his arm, and I did not see that coming, because I watched a whole bunch of Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. I didn't see that. I can't remember if you did any of those games.
I did, and I've talked to him plenty, and he's just I also talked to him last year about his preparation and waiting for this role, and he was so confident in it. I'm going to have my chance, and I'm going to be ready for it. And that's what's impressive.
But he wasn't a big winner at Texas Tech, because in all the big games against the best teams in the Big 12, they couldn't win. But again, they were under-talented. They couldn't match up, especially defensively. They were really challenged at Texas Tech. So he knows how that feels now in Kansas City. But in the big picture, I can't remember a quarterback making a bigger splash in his first 4 starts than this, because I don't think it's ever happened.
He hadn't thrown a pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like...
This dude got 14 touchdowns and 0 picks, Skip.
Okay, but when you start running outside the pocket and flinging it across your body,
Yeah.
trust me, this league will bite you.
Oh, yeah. It'll put
you know this.
Yeah, at some point he has to get out of that habit, and I think Andy's probably constantly telling him, "Hey, that worked this time, but you can't live and die."
Yeah,
that
because
way.
who are your top echelon quarterbacks right now? Any runners up there?
No.
I mean,
But you know what I like?
Breeze,
But you know what I like
pure
about him,
pocket.
Skip, is that when he escapes the pocket, when the rushers rush past him, he steps up, but his head is never down.
No,
he's constantly looking downfield. He's not looking to run. He's looking to throw
unless
the,
he sees, as he did down near the goal line,
y'all
he
like,
said,
I'm
I got
gone.
this,
I'm
man.
gone.
You can't catch me to the
But
corner.
another thing that I think hurt Cam is that they got rid of Steve Smith. They wanted Cam to be the de facto leader.
They did.
So they needed to get another dominating
That's
voice
right.
out of the
They
locker
knew he
room.
could not do
And
it.
so he exited stage left. Now with Tyreek and Sammy Watkins and Kelsey, they're going to be together for at least another 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
That's at the bare minimum. Greg Olsen, look at Cam's number when Olsen's in the lineup. Now Olsen's been nicked the last couple of years, and Cam, that's Cam's most trusted receiver. But these guys are going to be together, and then David Shula calling plays, Andy Reid calling plays.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to say David Shula is the offensive mind that Andy Reid.
I would agree with
But
that.
Skip, with his arm talent, his ability to throw the ball deep, and I think he's a little bit more accurate than we previously thought, Skip.
He is. He has been so far.
Yes. Now, he's not, like I said, he's not going to, stay on this streak. Okay, he's going to go another, 5-7 games without throwing an interception, because he throws the ball down the field too much for that to happen. We've seen guys go on hot streaks, but they check the ball down a lot. They don't put the ball.
There were, in the first 3 quarters last night, there were at least 3 throws where he just flung it.
He got away with one
And
because
I know one he got
Sammy
away
Watkins,
with.
because it popped up.
He just flung it, man. You can't keep. He's on a magic carpet ride.
He's taking
and
some
it won't-
chances.
Okay.
He's taking
but,
some
But
chances.
again, do I love the package of what I see? He's got,
was so
and I love
pretty.
it that his father was a long-time, very successful big league relief pitcher.
Right.
It's just you grow up around big league clubhouses where you say, I can do this. Like, I'm not afraid of this moment.
And Skip, anytime you can take the ball, think about it. They dumped the ball to Kareem Hunt, and he goes 30.
Yeah.
They dumped the ball to Tyreek Hill, and he goes and gets you 20. Or they hand the ball to Hunt, and now all of a sudden he gets outside, he goes down the sideline for 45. When you have that kind of playmaking, it makes the job even harder to defend him, because what do you do? If we stack this box to stop Hunt, they still have Hill, Sammy Watkins, and Travis Kelce. Now, Travis Kelce didn't have a good game last night. Thought he dropped some balls and he allowed some people to cover him.
There were 3 or 4 that were behind him.
Yeah.
They were not on target.
But This team, like I said, Skip, when you look at a projected player, look at, okay, the coach is on, Andy's not going anywhere, and that talent around him. And that's what you got to do. You look at the young quarterbacks, what they do.
So
they surround them with young talent.
That is correct. So just for perspective, I've told you before, I thought Dak Prescott played the best rookie year of starting quarterback I have ever seen. But he was a rookie fourth-round pick who got thrown into the fire with no backdrop, no background, no year in waiting to see how it feels. Romo's hurt in preseason game number 3, and all of a sudden Dak's the starter. And just on poise and precision, he played really well for a raw rookie. He's 23 touchdowns. He was 23 to 4 interceptions. But he didn't have this kid's flair and game.
Well, you know what, too, Skip? They didn't ask Dak to do a whole lot.
Not a whole lot, but
it was
again,
manage the game. They're telling this kid,
you got it.
Go, do your thing.
Go.
I mean,
because we saw both of these guys went to Pittsburgh, and you look at what Dak did at Pittsburgh and what Zeke did, and you look at what this kid did to Pittsburgh. What, 5, 6 touchdowns? You don't do that as a second-year guy, Skip, going on the road. And Pittsburgh doesn't have a very good defense, but to go on the road in someone's building at this young age, and say like, oh, I got a 6 spot for you.
Okay, but even Brett Favre in about year 4 or 5, he started staying home in the pocket because you can't survive outside the pocket, number one, and number two, to be a top 5, top 10 quarterback, you just have to beat people from the pocket consistently. And Brett Favre, in the second half of his career, that's about all he did.
But Skip, Brett was demolition derby. Brett was diving over people, was crashing into people. But Mahomes is not going to do. He doesn't have Brett Favre's body. Brett was like 6'3", 225. Mahomes not going to run into anyone.
And guys going to stop defending him a certain way.
I agree.
They're not going to keep rushing like they're rushing upfield. I saw one time where Chubb kind of hesitated on his rush because he didn't know, is it a quick screen? Am I going to have to get out here and help rally to this runner, or should I rush the quarterback? And so opponents are going to start saying, hey, we can't just run upfield because he's going to step up in the pocket and get out of there. And so once he's established that, hey, I will run the ball, defenses are going to start playing him a little differently to where they won't rush as aggressively, and it'll give him a little bit more time.
Well, he may be on this magic carpet ride, but it's fun to watch. I don't hate it. He can continue it because it's making it fun to see. D'Angelo, thank you.
I don't like it that he in the AFC West.
Oh, yeah, of course. Something.
No mercy.
Ezekiel Elliott was dealing with ankle pain against the Lions on Sunday, but he still had one of the best performances of his career, racking up 240 total yards and a touchdown. He's currently leading the league in rushing almost 100 yards ahead of the second-place guy, Todd Gurley. Through 29 games in his career, Zeke is on a historic pace to pass Jim Brown's all-time record of 104.3 rushing yards per game. Shannon, will Zeke be an all-time great running back?
It's only 29 games in.
True.
But before I address that, Skip, can we address this? Can we start with this? Now, all of a sudden, Zeke is dealing with knee and ankle pains. Zeke has yet to show up on the injury report. Not week 1, because I made sure. Me and my trusted researcher, Steve, we went back. We went back because I wanted to see.
I think you have a whole team.
No, I'm not worried about what I got. We need to stop worrying about this, Skip. We're heavily compensated, so I got some of the best researchers in all the land. We went back and we scoured and we looked. Week 1, no Zeke. Week 2, no Zeke. Week 3, week 4, no Zeke. Now, if Zeke is dealing with this and he's not on the injury report, the NFL is going to want to know why. Because in 1998, the Broncos got fined because we knew John Elway wasn't going to play on a Monday night game in Kansas City. Bubby did. Now, me and my big mouth, Jenny, I'm saying we knew all week that John wasn't going to play. Well, I didn't know
You got your team busted?
I dry snitched, yes.
Whoa.
Cost us $15,000.
Wow.
So
did it come out of your check?
Nah, it can't. It come out my check.
Wow. You were responsible.
I was. You're right, Skip. I dry snitched, and I felt bad.
So you owe the Broncos $15,000. That's a drop in your bucket, man. You should send him a check.
But anyway, if Zeke Elliott has been dealing with these ankle and knee injuries and not showing up on the injury report, the NFL is going to want to know why. Now, back to their original question. Can Zeke be an all-time great? Yes, because he has that ability. And this is why they drafted Tyron Smith in the first round. This is why they drafted Travis Frederick in the first round.
He's
Zach
not playing
Martin
right now, but go ahead.
This is a running football team. Look at the quarterback that Jim Brown had. Look at the quarterback that Eric Dickerson had. Look at some of the guys. But, God, can we slow down, Jenny?
Yeah.
This is 29 games.
True.
Jim Brown played 118 games. So back then, there were 12 games in the regular season.
Yep.
Jim Brown played 9 years. So he played every single game for 9 years. So Zeke has 5.5 more years to get to 118. There have been a lot of guys. The guy that sits right next to us a couple of times a week, Skip, Eric Dickerson. At 29 games, he was averaging 119, which is 14 more yards per game rushing than Zeke.
Yep.
Eric Dickerson had over 3,900 yards in his first 2 years. I played with a guy, and I said this, had he stayed in Denver, he'd be a Hall of Famer. Clinton Portis, 3,100 yards, 31 touchdowns, 29 games. How did that work out? There have been a lot of guys over 100 yards. Hold on, let me see. Eric Dickerson, 119. Clinton Portis, 104. I think Zeke is at 104. No, Clinton Portis, 107. I think Zeke is at 104.5. Chris Johnson, 102. Edgerrin James, 100. That's the first 29. But you know, Skip, there's a reason why they are very hesitant to give running backs contract after the age of 25, 26. Because that wear and tear. There's something called a pounding. There's something called carries. You start getting 300, 350, 400. Now, all of a sudden, you're not that same guy anymore.
Why is Le'Veon sitting out right now?
Yeah, he's
To
like,
save himself.
yeah, I ain't put another 400 touches on my body.
Nope.
So, Skip, does he have the ability? But there's a reason why there have been so many that started ahead of the pace of Jim Brown at some that year 5, year 6, year 7, they come back down to earth. So let's just hold off about him breaking Jim Brown's record as far as most rush yards per game. But can he be a Pantheon great running back? Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, 2 quick points before I answer Jenny's big picture question.
Sure.
Ty Smith and Travis Frederick and Zach Martin were drafted to protect Tony Romo, papier-mâché Tony in the pocket. That's why they were drafted. Period. End of story. Because they were drafted before Ezekiel Elliott was drafted.
Who was the running back?
It just didn't matter.
DeMarco
It just
Murray.
didn't- No, but everything was based around, built around papier-mâché Tony
Let me ask you a
Romo.
question.
That's what it was. I'm sorry. That's what he
who
was.
had-
No, but that name.
Who has the most rushing yards in a single season in Cowboy history? When the guy that has the most rush yards in
That was
NFL
by
history-
accident.
How is it by accident, Skip?
Yeah. You had Tony flinging it all over everywhere, and they were pretty good.
No. Don't do that, Skip. Why would you do that?
So the other point is, obviously, Zeke is not worthy of being on the injury report because Stephen Jones, in the interview he gave yesterday, is just operating with gamesmanship. He's trying to make Houston think, well, maybe he's iffy or whatever. He's got bursitis in his knee, and he's got an ankle problem. He had the ankle problem mid-game on Sunday. Then what happened? He kept happening.
Ain't nothing happened because ain't nothing wrong with Zeke.
Thank you very much. So I'll go with that. Now back to the question. Here's my big picture point. Ezekiel Elliott is better than Emmitt Smith. Just in a vacuum, he's just better. And I covered Emmitt Smith for years in Dallas, so I know what I speak of here. Ezekiel Elliott is bigger. He's faster. He's stronger overall. He runs more. He runs more strongly than Emmitt ran, and he has better hands than Emmitt. Although that year in '95, when Emmitt was so special, he caught 62 balls. That's a lot of balls, but they were all little flip passes, little swing passes, little safety valve passes. He can't do what Zeke did to win the game Sunday, which is to run a route out of the slot and go down and catch it over his head.
Okay.
So, given all that, I'll take Zeke in a vacuum. One game for my life, I'm going with Ezekiel. But Emmitt, well, let's just put this in context right now. As we speak, Ezekiel Elliott is exactly this far behind Emmitt Smith's rushing total for his career, 15,316 yards. That's the margin between Emmitt Smith and Zeke. And if you just take that margin alone, that's the third highest rushing total in league history. So he would, from this point forward, have to have the third most rushing yards in the history of the NFL to catch and pass Emmitt Smith.
Correct.
That is a staggering amount of yards.
Right.
And why did that happen? Because I've told you before, Emmitt built low to the ground at 5'9"-ish. had this incredible ability to make people miss in tight spaces.
Oh, you weren't getting a clean shot on him.
I've never seen anything like it before, but he just had that little knack, that survival, that little wiggle in the hole where nobody ever got the quote-unquote kill shot, the direct shot.
You're absolutely
and he
right.
never put himself in that precarious position where all of a sudden you get bent over, pretzeled, whatever. He was always ducking and darting behind what might have been the greatest offensive line ever during those 2 or 3 years. And he utilized it because he would duck and dart and be free of that offensive line and 8 yards into your secondary before you found him.
Yep.
And again, the reason he fell in the draft is because he ran 4.6 at the combine. Well, every combine I see guys, I see defensive linemen running 4.6, right?
Yeah.
But with the football under his arm, he was pretty hard to catch and really hard to hit and bring down. So he lasted. The durability and the longevity were staggering to me.
No running back currently playing, Skip, is going to have 15 years with the amount of carries on his body that Emmett had.
You just can't do that. So his yards per game kept falling because he kept hanging on, and he went to Arizona for two years after a bad year in Dallas. So his yards per game fell to 81 for his career, but the yards are just, it's just incomprehensible. It's 18,355 yards. Well, Zeke will never even dream of getting that far because I must say, I hate to say, Ezekiel Elliott's he's high collision.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's quite Adrian Peterson, but he's in the ballpark with Adrian trying to run people over because when in doubt, he will duck his head. You know what? He'll lower his shoulder. He'll do whatever it takes to get that 3rd and 1.5. He'll fight for that extra half yard, and he'll take punishment.
This is why I don't think he'll break Jim Brown's record. See, Zeke has a problem that's not football, that's not on the field related.
That's a whole nother issue. Yep.
Because, see, you think about it, Skip. He's already missed how many games? 6.
He has.
So you look at ED, didn't have these issues to worry about.
He did not.
So most of these guys, they didn't miss game for personal reasons, for personal problems, for off-the-field issues.
Nope, I got you.
So that's going to weigh. Now, that might help him out because guess what, Skip? Like you said, Emmett started playing 2 years, and it kept coming down. But maybe missing some games, take some wear and tear off his body. But with the way this offense is set up right now, Skip, with his ability, I give you that. He can run. He can run through tackles. First step as good as it comes.
It's just, and he's got like shocking acceleration for a big net for 225. Where all of a sudden you're like, whoa, he hit another gear. He's off to the races, right?
And that offensive line, they maul people. And that's what Dallas did in the mid-90s, Skip. They leaned on you with Tuanay and Big Easy and all those, Nate Newton. Stepnoski, they were Kevin Gogan. I mean, they were loaded.
They were loaded with offensive linemen, which is why I told you going into this year, I give Zeke a far better shot at breaking Eric Dickerson's single season record, which is staggering in and of itself. It's 2,000. It'd take 2,106 yards to break it.
Right.
Zeke is ahead of that pace right now, but Eric, if you go look at what started happening mid-year, then late year, he started taking off, and he had some monster games, 4 or 5 of them. Is Zeke capable of those games? Yes, he is.
Yes.
But again, I got to knock hard on this wood. He can't have bursitis in his knee and turned ankles and whatever else knick-knack.
Well, eventually teams are going to force Dak to beat him. And you hear what Landon Collins says, and that's the prevailing theory around the league, Skip. We got to find a way to shut that running game down because everything they do is predicated off that. If you look at during the season this year, forget the last 2 years. When Zeke was, they won 2 games. Look at when Zeke's running the football well, and Dak can play action off of that. That's how he got that big touchdown to Tavon Austin, second play of the game. You look at Sunday, his first game over 200 yards. That's because Zeke is grinding it out. So if I'm a team D coordinator, 2-1, you're not going to be eating today, bro. Hope you had a belly full before you got to work because you will do no eating
You know
today.
what I want to see? I want to see 4 eat with the football in his hands. I want to see 4 run the read option and pull it back out and keep it 6 or 7 times.
I don't believe he can beat me running the ball.
Yes, he can.
I don't believe he can.
He can gash you. He can get 10
Paper
yards,
cut.
10 yards a carry.
Paper cuts.
6 or 7 carries, 60 or 70 yards, and all of a sudden you're saying, We better not. We can't crash the defensive end down on
All
Zeke
those
anymore.
guys other than Zeke Elliott give you paper cuts. That 21 send you to the trauma center. So I'm not worried about Dak running. I'm not worried about Dak throwing the ball to Gallup and Hearns and all those other guys. I worry about
first
him.
down, another first down, another first down,
You
and
see that guy
another
right
first down.
That guy, like you said, you want to see this.
I do.
Now what's Dak move? What's Hearns' move? You ain't want to see anything else. You just want to see this because you know what comes after that. Play action pass.
So
I want to see 4.
Social media.
I did it because I was celebrating.
I know you were
And
celebrating.
you know what my caption was? I'm going to have somebody for breakfast
Oh, yes.
tomorrow.
But guess what?
We all noticed.
Somebody.
But guess what, Skip? All that, it took a historic performance, Zeke's greatest performance as an NFL player. It took that and a last-second field goal to win by 2.
I know.
So what happens if he doesn't have that
Matt
kind of
Stafford
performance?
is really good.
Don't do that, Skip.
Matt Stafford shredded Bill Belichick the game before.
One game?
Oh, really? One game?
Yeah.
One
Okay,
Your guy, the guy who gets 75% of the credit in New England,
75.
got shredded, humiliated, and embarrassed by Matthew Stafford.
And what did he do to Tannehill?
Well, what does it matter? I'm just saying this.
Well, what does that matter? He got shredded by Stafford.
We had to deal with the hometown boy returns. Matt Stafford
He
comes
wasn't
back
home.
to Dallas.
He wasn't home, though.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Now, if y'all had beat him in Detroit, because you remember what happened last time y'all went to Detroit, right? 339 happened, Calvin Johnson happened, and Matt Stafford, did y'all in. So I can see
He's
it.
done us in a bunch of times.
Yeah.
He nearly did us in the other day.
And I know somebody gonna do y'all in on Sunday night.
Okay. I'm good.
2 cases of doing.
Good. No, just one.
Come on, Skip, you want to
Solid one. No, I'm good.
See, I see what you're doing here.
I'm
one
not
by
doing
one.
anything.
No, you try to make me go one by one. I gave you like 5 here,
I'm
3
not
there.
gonna just give them all back, but I'm good Sunday night.
No, you're not.
I'm
you
really
think
Hope we
you
get to
could.
that.
No mercy.
Le'Veon Bell will reportedly end his holdout and return to the Steelers during their Week 7 bye. He does not expect to be traded, but the Steelers have been exploring those options. Pittsburgh has struggled so far this season with just 1 win, and they're 28th in the league in rushing yards per game. We are joined once again by D'Angelo Hall. D'Angelo, can Le'Veon fix those problems that the Steelers are struggling with?
Some of them problems I don't know. I don't think anyone can fix. But can he help? Absolutely. Le'Veon can absolutely help. But I'm so worried about this locker room because I don't know. I don't know the dynamic of that locker room. I don't know Le'Veon personally. But I don't know if he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder because guys are talking about his money and commenting when they probably shouldn't have been. I don't know if those guys are going to be resentful toward him because maybe, hey, if you're here, we don't, we
We're not in
win
that
some
situation.
games. Yeah, and so that's the dynamic that none of us can really know about right now until he gets in that locker room. But, if he comes in Week 7, he has a chance to play each one of those division opponents one more time.
True.
So he has a heck of a bargaining chip right now because he can say, hey, look, this is what y'all did without me. This is what y'all going to do with me, having the season ended and those results show what they are. And so he absolutely can help him because he's a heck of a football player. But I don't know the dynamic of that locker room and if egos and prideful men are going to take over and it's going to be all chaos in that locker room. So, if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm trying to trade him before Week 7. He told me he's coming Week 7. Let's try to get him out of here. Let's get something for him. You don't want to be in Seattle's situation where they're not going to get anything for Earl now when they had an opportunity there. And so I can't wait to see, though.
I agree with everything you said. Le'Veon alone can't help the situation, but the most important situation on the field is in the locker room because he's heard what they said about him. He thought we were all good. We've been riding this thing for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm getting 1,000 yards, 1,300 yards. I'm all pro, best back. Hey, I'm getting you watches, showing them my love and appreciation. And the one time I need y'all to stand behind me to really block for me, now you come out and start talking about my money, talking about basically I'm being selfish. I'm leaving you guys high and dry. So Skip, you hear Ben says, everything is outside. Nah, bruh. What the problem that you really have is on the inside, and it's manifesting itself on the outside.
Yep.
But what Le'Veon has done by him being playing, we ain't been talking about Ben and how Ben playing like a slot bucket out there. Ben been playing real bad, real shaky, Skip Bayless. See, we look at the situation where, oh, look at Ben, he threw for another 500. But what about those 5 turnovers and they lost to Jacksonville? Oh, Ben had a monster day. Yeah, but they lost 45-42, and he fumbled the ball that gave up a scoop and score. Ben's been playing real shaky, and that's being overlooked because Le'Veon is not there.
Yeah.
Now, defensively, Skip, that's why I didn't pick him. I mean, you know I came close to picking the Steelers to represent the AFC because that defense, and like you always say, when the New England defense struggle, that's Coach Belichick's cup of tea.
Well,
that's
there
Mike
you go.
Tomlin's cup of tea.
That is.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, but Mike Tomlin's doing a lot more defensive coaching on that sideline now. I'm not so sure he hadn't taken over the play calling of the defense.
Well, has it manifested itself yet?
Hey,
Positive impact? I haven't seen it yet.
something's not. Look, Ben had his best statistical years under Haley. Haley's gone. They won defense, and they were a top defense when they had what's the guy? He's the D coordinator in Tennessee, Dick LeBeau.
Yeah.
Now, okay, they're gone now. The defense is worse than it's ever looked, and the Pittsburgh offense doesn't look the same. James, James looks good in the preseason. Oh, James kind of had 100 yards. That's not Le'Veon.
Not at all.
Do you understand?
He's all right.
Yeah, he good.
Guys fear Le'Veon.
No,
Yeah.
I got it.
There's a difference between being an NFL player and being a difference maker. That 2-6 is a difference maker.
I mean, he's not Zeke, but he's a different.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well,
See,
please.
every conversation,
Always.
you'll ruin it. You know what, Skip? You know, you the type of guy that we have a good conversation, everything going well,
You did it
and
to
then
me.
you bump the stereo.
You threw LeBron James into all-time great leadership.
He
Do
is.
that. You left him out.
Gag me.
He is all-time great.
Yeah. So I can sum up the AFC North right now as the Ravens are much better than I thought they were going to be, and the Steelers are even worse than I thought they were going to be. That
I'd
sums
agree.
up that division
Yes.
right now because the Ravens defense, Suggs is flying, man. He looks like that T-Sizzle guy. You know, I love him. He's
Joe Flacco started to look like playoff
Salute.
Joe Flacco, Skip.
yeah.
Joe Flacco
For
looking
the
like
moment,
Joe.
for the
No,
moment, I
no,
don't
Joe
Flacco.
Flacco. Flacco.
No, but
Don't
the
get ahead of yourself.
defense and just the hard-nosedness of that team. You know,
they-
they're
yeah.
still physical and
They've always been.
I know, but they're pretty good. They're just better because Flacco's been playing a much higher level.
They get
than
Jimmy
I thought.
Smith back, too. Their best corner.
This Pittsburgh team is a mess, and I'm afraid that Mike Tomlin might have to pay for this with his job at some point. I know they don't make drastic moves.
No, they haven't. Don't mean they won't.
No,
They
that is
just
true.
haven't in 50 years.
Because something has got to change, and you got the Le'Veon issue that you guys broke down, but the Antonio issue just hangs over this team because he has gone over the social media edge into starring instead of winning. Like it's me, not we anymore. He needs to get his numbers or he's not a happy camper. And it's not the way to win football games. You know it and I know it.
What you want to say about Tomlin?
Y'all don't give Mike Tomlin the same amount of respect y'all give Bill Belichick. Now, I know he doesn't
Whoa,
have
whoa.
all the
Me?
rings Bill Belichick got, but you're talking about just the model of consistency in the National Football League, and there's no other guy besides Bill Belichick. Maybe you can throw Andy Reid in that same category.
What, time out.
And
time
then
out.
Mike
Just
Tomlin.
a second.
Go ahead.
I said after last year's Super Bowl, I would have fired Bill Belichick immediately
Okay.
and elevated Josh Daniels into that role.
I wouldn't, but
Pittsburgh ain't about consistency. They're about winning them championships.
no, absolutely.
And they need to win some championships. And the way that you see what's going on, all that sniping and bickering back and forth. See, the problem going on with Antonio Brown, let's talk about that. There's a guy, number 19, he getting them catches now. Those Antonio catches. Antonio see that.
You're talking about Juju.
Yeah, that's what's going on. So what they do early is that they double team Antonio to get Ben off that read. So Ben's going to the one-on-one with Juju. Juju winning. So now Antonio like, man, they're not giving me that ball. Well, Ben's read is taking him to Juju. It's taking him to James Washington. And so that's all we do. See, that's what you do to a great receiver. You double him early, get him frustrated, and then guess where he's going to be at? Going to be in the quarterback ear. He's going to be throwing papers on the sideline.
So you telling me Antonio's lying when he says he just wants to win games?
No.
Oh, he wants to win, but he wants to win getting a buck 50 and 2 touches.
Yeah, okay.
That's how everybody is. I want to win, but I want to win and get my numbers now. Me winning and me not getting no numbers because now y'all going to start talking about, oh, this guy better than me. That guy better than me. And we know he's not better because that's why he said trade me.
Yep.
Now, the man got his money. Why would you talk about trade you? Why would you even think that be on your lips?
Because he's just he had a little comeback at a little former employee that he knew. personally.
Okay,
so
well, you better call him.
Well, trade me and see what'll happen.
Well, call him and tell him that. Don't put that on social
Yeah.
media.
calling
How
that
many
guy.
followers?
I'm not
Did
calling
you
that
know,
guy,
everyone
though.
saw that.
You know who?
Yeah,
You know who
and
else?
that's the point.
You know who else following? The Steelers. That's who else following.
Man, winning cures everything, man. This team will turn this thing around, man. I believe in Mike Tomlin, man.
You
757, absolutely.
Oh, but you're just
Absolutely.
going home on this one, right?
Nah. I'm going by track record, what I've seen.
Okay,
You know, they have had a history. They look troubled, and then all of a sudden they flip the switch, and everything's okay. This team doesn't look like it can flip any switches to me.
They won against Tampa. How they look the other night?
Consistency, man.
So
gotta be consistent.
So ahead of Le'Veon's possible return in 2 more games
Yeah.
comes Atlanta, a desperate Falcons team. You know them well.
Doesn't look
They're
good.
1-3. They've lost 2 cliffhangers at home to Saints and Bengals. And then Pittsburgh's got to deal with those Bengals, division rival, who they're pretty good. And if they get Joe Mixon back before then, I would give the Bengals the edge in that game. So desperate Atlanta at 1-3. I don't know if that's a gimme for Pittsburgh.
One thing we know about Atlanta, they can put points and yards on you.
Yeah, they can.
Cause you got. I mean, think
But I
about
don't
it.
trust them. I don't trust Atlanta.
You trust Steelers?
Over Atlanta, absolutely.
No, I don't trust them.
Absolutely.
I mean, we must be watching 2 different.
I mean, if they can't beat, let's make a bet. Because if they can't beat the Falcons, we got a problem.
Here we go.
A banged up Atlanta Falcons defense? Oh, man, nah.
But you make it. That's not the steel curtain.
No, it absolutely is not.
You know where they ranked.
Yeah.
So you want the Steelers?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll take old Matt Ryan, them dirty birds.
That's your homeboy, all right?
Oh yeah, old Matty Ice. Matty Ice gonna throw about. Oh, what they gonna do with Julio?
Matty Ice.
What about Ridley? What they gonna do with Ridley?
They better figure out a game plan. They got my money on the line right now. They better figure it out.
Are you
But I got
available
Pittsburgh.
Sunday? Because they might be able to use you.
Nah, I ain't available. Not for them. Not for them. Nah. New England, I might come calling.
Really?
Might answer the phone, Bill Belichick. Where you at? Come holler at me.
Okay. You want a ring, don't you?
We all want a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except you.
Oh, yeah, he got
He
enough
went
rings.
along for those rides.
Yeah,
He got enough rings, man.
He always try to get a shot at you. You went along for the ride.
Well, you did.
Little
What?
reminder.
3 times. Right place, right time. It worked.
Oh, well, I was in the Catbird seat. A couple of them, Skip.
John Elway, Ray Lewis. I don't
Riding
know.
shotgun.
TD.
Yeah.
What about the?
What about?
Okay, you see what they do? You do that. A lot of people do that, Skip Bayless. I won in Denver. It was because of Elway and TD. I won in Baltimore. It's because of Ray. Okay, what do those places have in common?
O'Shea
Ray
Sharpe.
didn't play for Denver. John Elway didn't play for BMO.
So you were the difference
old
maker.
common denominator, old Shay Sharpe. Yeah, old big play Shay. I'll give you a play, yeah.
No, it's one play shot.
That's
all they
it.
needed.
That's all you need, Skip.
One play.
A one-hitter quitter. The overhand.
Yep.
All it takes is one.
That's it.
Or on Undisputed, no play shade.
Oh, no, Skip, I'll be busting you. That's what they be saying, hashtag, if it's just trending.
No, what?
Let's get Bust Skip up trending, y'all.
Good luck with that,
Skip
y'all.
up. I don't know. You're calling them out for rings? I feel like that's a little harsh. There's no
Really?
rings over
Jenny
here,
takes
too, Skip.
sides.
What?
Well, there's no rings over here. I think that's a little aggressive.
I don't but no ring. You know, you got so many of them. Sound like a wind chime. I mean, Hall of Fame rings and Super Bowl rings.
Many.
I'm in every Hall of Fame that state I ever played in.
See, this man was better at his position than this man was at his position, but he's got no
I wouldn't
ring.
say that. I wouldn't.
You know, you
They trying to divide us, dog. Divide and conquer.
We
Do
together.
that.
We together. We'll
Can't
get
do that.
you.
Right?
We come to debate you, not to debate each other.
So you
Skip.
just tried and failed.
You see what Jenny?
Yeah.
That's what he tries to do.
I know.
He tried to drive a wedge between you and I. He just tried to drive a wedge between me and D Hall. We the hip to you, Skip.
I noticed it.
Jenny
I'm not
just
falling for this.
showed her true colors, and it's okay with me. Yellow.
I'm not.
Chartreuse.
Yellow.
Chartreuse. Like Lakers? I don't know. Anyways, thank you for being here, D'Angelo. No mercy. LeBron played 15 minutes in his Lakers debut on Sunday night, scoring 9 points. Tonight, he'll make his Staples Center debut in the purple and gold. Yesterday, LeBron was asked about his defensive role on this team with Rajon Rondo, and he made a comparison to some Hall of Fame football players. Take a listen.
You try to be the second line of defense behind him. I try to be, the Derrick Brooks, Warren Sapp. He's the guy right there in the front. He's gonna get in there, and then if I was able to break the first line, and I try to be that Derrick Brooks, right there, the second line of defense. So, or that Ray Lewis to the Ed Reed, So, at the end of the day, we want to protect each other, and, with Rondo being the point of attack, it's my job as a safety or the linebacker to protect him.
Okay, Skip, what was your takeaway from LeBron's
Yeah, Skip, what was your takeaway?
first game?
I actually watched this game. I watched it more than I watched the Ravens and the Steelers because I had it on my other TV, and I just couldn't stop watching LeBron because I saw exactly what I expected to see.
Oh, boy.
I saw wildly entertaining Lakers offense. I saw push the ball like crazy. I saw slams. I saw circus shots. I saw an offense made for Hollywood. Yeah. And I saw little to no defense because that's what this team is going to play, little to no defense. So with LeBron James, the quote-unquote best player on the planet, says Shannon Sharpe, on the floor for most of the first half, Lakers gave up 66 points to Denver. Is that good? Because that's on a pace to give up 132 for the game. Is that good? I don't think that's very good. And, of course, they trailed by 12 at halftime. That's in spite of having LeBron play 15 minutes in the first half. Welcome to the West, La Hollywood James, because that's who you're going to be. You're mostly La Hollywood. So let's put this in perspective. With LeBron as the leader of the Cavaliers last year, they finished second to worst in defense in the Eastern Conference as LeBron plummeted to 308th in individual defensive win shares last year. Is that good? That's in the whole NBA, you're 308th. So now you've added LeBron, plays no defense, to a team that gave up the 25th most points last year. Gee. And wait a second, you added a starting point guard, Rajon Rondo, who can be a defensive liability? Really? So wait a second. He's going to take most of them. It sounds like he's going to take all the minutes away from Lonzo because Lonzo's still coming back from his knee scope. And it sounds like the way LeBron talks that he wants Rondo to be his man at point guard because Rondo knows how to play. He's got the high IQ, but he just doesn't play any defense. So wait a second. You're going to take the guy off the floor who was the Lakers' best defender last year. That's Lonzo Ball because he led this team in blocked for most of the year. He led it from rebounds for a good portion of the year, and he led it in steals for the whole year. So that's your best defensive player as Lonzo Ball at 6 feet 7 inches, and you're telling me he's probably not going to get to play very much because Rondo's going to play, but LeBron tried to show off his historical NFL knowledge for the LA media that's like skeptical. They're skeptical. LeBron says, watch this. Watch how much I know about the NFL. And he compares Rajon Rondo at about 6 feet tall to Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis. That's the analogy he's making. He says, I got their backs just the way Derrick Brooks and Ed Reed had their backs. I don't really get that. No. That's losing me, but what he's trying to say is I've got Rondo's back. I'm the next line of defense, but actually you're going to need like a third line of defense behind LeBron because somebody who's going to be behind him, I don't know what position that is in football because safety's the last position, right?
I do see a slight resemblance because Ed Reed was the greatest safety that I ever saw and I ever played against. And that's what LeBron can do. LeBron is going to play the lanes. He's not the great on-ball defender that he once was. Okay. But he'll play lanes. He'll block. He's the best chase down blocker in the history of the game.
So that makes Rondo Ray Lewis?
No.
I don't get that one. Help me out.
No.
You know Ray.
I do know. No. He's saying he's Ray. He's Ed Reed.
Oh, okay.
To those guys. No, Skip. No. First of all, Rondo is not an on-ball defender. We don't look at him as a Patrick Beverly or Joe Dumars. Alvin Roberts, remember Alvin Robertson, great on-ball, on-ball defender. We don't look at them. We don't look at him like that. But LeBron is saying, look, we got to have great communication. We got to say if it's coming to the left, hey, left, he's coming up on your right. You going under, you going over, you going to fight through. What are we going to do with this pick and roll? LeBron is saying basically we just got to communicate. And that's going to take some time. This is why they call it preseason. Name the sport, Skip, that you just after the season's over with, you come back and you start playing games. It takes some time to rust off.
Oh, really?
In baseball, they call it spring training. In football and basketball, they call it preseason.
Well, is that why LeBron said last week, I don't need to play a single minute of preseason, even though he's got all new teammates?
Is he playing?
He got shamed into it.
No, he didn't.
Know it, and I know it. That was like a petulant child act. Okay, everybody's criticized me. Watch what I do. I'm going to play 15 minutes.
You think Bron care about that?
He does.
Bron don't care about that.
He cares about everything.
No, he don't.
Image is everything.
If he cared about it, he'd have never left Cleveland.
Oh, that's wrong.
And he'd have stayed in Miami. So clearly
He wants to be a movie star in Hollywood, and he's becoming that.
No, he could be a movie star somewhere place else.
No.
Yes, he can. Skip, all I'm saying is this. Look, they will be better defensively. They'll do a better job.
They will?
They will.
How?
Oh, you think they're going to give up 132 a game?
I don't know.
Oh, if you don't mind me
Great.
asking, you love plus minus. Can you tell the people at home what was LeBron James plus minus?
I have no idea.
Oh, I share it with him.
Preseason
He was
game.
oh, now it's just preseason. He was +1. You talking about they were down 12, and like
They
it's
were
a
down
regular season.
12 and they gave up 66, and he played
It's just
the
preseason.
second most minutes in the first half of the Lakers.
It's just
I think
preseason.
only 1 minute less than Brandon Ingram.
It's
Wow.
just but did you see those passes?
Oh, it was the no look, whoo, to Brandon Ingram. It was sweet. It was sweet. There's
Sign
going to
of
be a
things,
lot of
though.
that.
Yeah.
They're going to light up Staples on offense.
A lot of blocks too.
And the opponent's
Chase it.
going to light up the scoreboard. That's what's going to happen.
But we'll have more than they will. We win in those 54 games, and I'm gonna get my due.
So 155 to 154 is going to be the score every night?
At the end of the day, what's the objective when you play sports? To have one more point, or if you play golf, to have one fewer point. No, you go the other way. Minus is better. So -10. Normally minus is bad. So the higher the minus is, the better you are in golf. So, but this is not golf. This is basketball. So in other words, we will have one more point, 54 more times than the opposing team, and I will have my due. Well, I'm not doing due right now because I got a new thing. I'm doing something
are you
special.
doing?
I got a bet with somebody, Skip Bayless. Oh, Shaq challenged me.
Really?
Yep.
Care to
Who's
share?
gonna be in better shape by January 1? If he loses, he'll be sitting right there.
When did this happen?
Really?
He called me out with some bull jive.
Did he?
The guy that used to train me trains Shaq now.
Okay.
Okay.
So he be calling me, messing with me on the phone, talking about, hey, big dog, better than you, better shape. Shaq, you're not in better shape. You'll never be in better shape than me.
It's a
Let's
good
bet.
voice.
If I lose, I come on your show. All right, get ready.
Oh, good.
So January is
Yeah, he loses, Skip
No
Bayless.
more gummy bears.
No more gummies, Skip. I'm on the grind. I'm be Skip. I'm be like a Trump tax
the
return.
forward to that.
I mean, this is like no content. You versus Shaq?
Yep.
I mean, you're not in great shape, but he's
Whoa!
like, come on.
Skip.
Come on.
Skip.
Shaq?
I promise you.
Shaq? Well, who's going to be the arbiter here? Who's going
We're
to
gonna
be
let
the
it.
final judge?
We're gonna let a IG judge. He wants IG to judge.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I weighed 242 points. I think 242.6 today.
You
That's
weigh
a
yourself
lot.
every day?
Nah, I just started.
Okay.
God, I mean, I could feel. I knew I was somewhere. I know I was somewhere between 42 and 45. So I knew that. I mean, I don't need a scale. I mean, I know my body, the way my clothes fit. But I'm finna get toe up around this thing.
Are you?
Yeah, my waist finna
been a
feel
while.
like Clinton email.
Do you
know
weigh
what I'm saying?
yourself every day?
Never.
You know,
I'm the same every day.
158.3.
Really?
Yeah, that's all he weighed.
No,
158.
all I care about is all you should care about, which is body fat percentage. I'm 5%. You're about 22% right now.
Jenny, you believe that?
You're 5?
I am.
I am not 5.
Jenny,
What?
he weighs 150 pounds.
I do not weigh
He about the same size as Mayweather.
Yep. Want to let IG decide right now who's in better shape?
You're in better shape than me, Skip.
Huh?
You're in better
Oh,
shape than me.
please.
Okay.
That's
I'm gonna-
laughable.
you know what?
All right, let's do it.
Jenny, you know what, Jenny?
Okay.
One day he gonna catch me on the right day at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be on and popping. That's all. I'm gonna leave it like that. I ain't gonna say nothing else. I'm just gonna sit right here.
I'm
and bide my
popping
time.
now.
I'm gonna say
I'm popping.
Nope, I ain't saying
I'm
nothing.
popping.
When you least
I'm
expect
popping
it,
every day.
Media
I got
decide.
it.
when
I'm
you
good.
least expect it, Skip Bayless, your
I'm
day
good.
coming.
I am real good.
Your day coming, Skip.
I like to rattle these guys up.
No mercy.
Our next guest is one of the stars of HBO's Insecure, Sarunas Jackson. Let's listen to a clip from the show.
You want these back?
Nah, you can hold on to those.
How was Chicago?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
I got you something.
Oh. All right. Buttery ranch, caramel crisp.
Oh, just trust me.
Okay. Let's see what we got here.
Okay.
Damn.
I be knowing.
You get Tiffany's invite to Derek's birthday party?
A style guide, though.
And she had the nerve to suggest me and Candace mind the color palette.
Candace is coming. I mean, I figured, but
You okay?
yeah,
Molly.
it's cool. It's just You know, I haven't seen her since Weeze.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Look, I know what we have is new, but we're still us. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that was a clip from Insecure. You're joined by one of the stars of the show, Sarunas Jackson. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
How
I'm
fun
excited.
to have you.
Yeah,
The show
absolutely.
is a great success.
I mean, we got to give credit to Issa, Apprentice, all our
Yeah.
creators and writers. Yeah, they do an amazing job. Make it easy for the actors, at least, with the writing. It's good content. We really, as an actor, you wait to get something you're really excited for. A lot of times you'll get stuff you have to audition for and you might not even really want to.
Right.
But when you get a gem like this and you get it, it makes you that much more grateful. It's amazing. It's an amazing experience.
So this show has really connected because when I watch it, I get lost in it. Like there's really not a script going on. Like sometimes
Right.
I think you're just improvising.
Yeah.
Like how much can you just sort of freelance?
You know what? They give you a lot of like creative freedom. It's really collaborative. One of our best at it is Natasha Rothwell. She plays Kelly. A lot of her stuff is improvised. The gentleman who plays Chad, Neil Brand Jr., he does a lot of that. Issa, everybody, they let you go, and the team's just amazing. It's really teamwork, and they make you feel comfortable to do that, and it's really fun. It's really fun.
What you got over there in the bag, bro?
I come bearing gifts.
Oh.
Did my asking around myself. I know you skipped my man like.
Yeah, look at this. That's a jumbo, man.
That's
That's
Get you
incredible.
situated here.
That might get me through one show.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Way to go.
There you go.
Wow, you're going to be welcome back anytime.
Now for you.
Well, would you get your
Let me tell you something. You Uncle Shannon, the Black Twitter, here as a representative of Black Twitter, I want to give you a little something, and that's that hen dog, man.
There we go.
I give you that hen dog, man.
No.
Got you, yeah.
Come on, Undisputed. You got to come like Sam. Come bearing gifts.
You
Boy, this right here.
Wait, you drained that before a show, right?
Look at the difference between these two.
I told him there's a big contrast here, but I like it.
You know what? I like it
love
too.
We are honored by that.
Yes.
and
I
we
appreciate it.
Thank
Now, I apologize. I need to do my
It's okay.
scooping on
Coffee.
you. Then I'm gonna get it.
Coffee is
Okay. So
all
now
I
next
need
time
next
I know
time.
I'm knowing now.
No worries.
I'm knowing.
Let's talk some sports. Let's talk
Absolutely.
about where you were born,
Yes.
stayed for a while,
Yeah.
Philadelphia. You can't
Yes,
help
yes.
yourself. You still
Yes.
got it in your blood.
My father is a Philly man. My father's side of the family still lives out in the East Coast, Jersey, though now they all moved, but right outside of Philly.
So you stick with
And-
those Eagles, right?
And I stick with Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Phillies. As much as I've been living in Cali for a long time, it just doesn't shake. My
Okay.
father, he got to us, and stayed with us, and I'm proud of it. It's
bowl
worth
last
it now. Exactly. So now, I always knew I was gonna be there someday. And I knew I was gonna talk to you, but I told the Eagles in my heart.
Oh,
I
so
said,
you're waiting
when?
till they broke through.
I said, when? So when I get there, I don't have to have any conversations about this. So now.
I'll give you last year, but I won't give you this year because I think the worm has turned back, and now it
Think
looks
so?
like Dallas is starting to take control of that division. Doesn't it look like that? To you?
No, it don't look like that.
It's really that's a lot to say. I think so. I think this is we had a really bad loss Sunday.
Yes.
We shouldn't have lost that at all, to be honest. They converted on fourth down 2-3 times.
I think
4th and 15.
3 times in the last
Right.
Yes.
drive,
yes.
right?
4th and 15 really hurt. There was a 3rd and long that they converted. It just
Marcus Mariota did that to your defense?
And look,
What?
all respect to Marcus Mariota, but he hasn't been what they have expected so far, and to let that happen, if you look at his previous games, Eagles every year no matter who's been our coach, that's happened for some reason. You get Fitzpatrick to tear us up. He'll have a few games each year, but we get guys like that. Then we also are not solid on the road. We haven't been for a little bit. We're really solid at home. Really solid. I think. Was Doug something like 17-3? You might want to fact check me that at home. I'm trying to come here prepared. No,
I like it.
trying to come here prepared. And I think right now, I'm hoping we can make some adjustments with whatever the scheme is with our secondary. I think we've been a really
pretty
good
shaky.
team. Yeah, it has. And I think we've been a good team because we've won in the trenches a lot. Defensive line's been strong,
It's
offensive
good.
line usually. But Carson's been getting touched up as a lot recently too. So I'm just hoping, you get the early part of the year, get that out the way. Carson just got back, Alshon just got back, getting some of our players back. Hopefully we're letting Jay Ajay more loose, get him more touches. He was just hurt, so I'm hoping.
He was?
Yeah, so I'm hoping we get him back in the flow of things. Because when our rushing game is good, our passing game opens up and Carson just lets loose, and I'm excited for that. As far as the Cowboys, you have a lot of trust in Dak. I'm honestly asking.
Did you just dismiss Dak?
No,
Sounded like you just said, really?
Yeah,
Wasn't that a big question mark?
He's asking.
Really?
I'm asking you.
As if you don't? How can you not?
Listen. I have biases. I'm always gonna support black quarterbacks, right? Bias. At one point, they said they couldn't do it. Hey, look, we can. But I think all due respect to him, I think he's a limited guy, though.
Limited.
Limited.
Really?
I think.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to give this back.
Limited.
Really?
That's what he says.
And my question to you is do you think he could really be the guy to take you over the hump?
Oh, well, he only took me over to the 13-3 hump when he was a raw rookie out of Mississippi State. And he did his part to beat Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game. It wasn't his fault.
But see, that's what he does. Because normally, if somebody has a monster game and they lose, what good is all those numbers if you lose?
Yeah.
But to validate his point with Dak, he outgunned Aaron Rodgers, even though they lost.
Every time they played, he's outgunned him, outstatted him. That's pretty good. Aaron Rodgers pretty good.
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah. And by the way, my favorite stat, QBR. His QBR over the 2 years, now going into 3, is much better than Carson Wentz's QBR. How can you explain that?
My favorite stat is win.
I do like that too as well, Shannon. It's interesting you say that.
Really?
I think the playmaking ability of Carson. I think that's easy to talk about, and then there's certain situations, right, where those numbers can be pumped up a little bit in situations where it doesn't really affect the team as much as we would think so. And then the time it comes down to it, I've just seen, look, there was at one point, Dak had a bad stretch last year. Carson Wentz threw a touchdown on a torn ACL. And
You remember that too, huh?
I do. I was there, actually.
Remember
I
like
was
it was
there.
yesterday.
Yeah, I was there with my pops and my brothers, and I
Really?
remember being
Torn
very
ACL.
excited.
Oh, yeah, because it was in L.A.
Torn
It was in
PCL.
LA. Yes.
Through a tub.
So Carson Wentz still hadn't played a single playoff snap, and you trust that? Really?
Absolutely,
So
because
your backup quarterback was the MVP of
he
the
got
Super Bowl?
hurt.
Huh.
Right.
But had he not gotten hurt, would he have played the playoff snap?
He wouldn't have gotten him as far as Nick Foles did.
Stop
He
it.
wouldn't have.
Stop
What was
it.
our record last year when we got hurt? Ooh, like 10 and
They lost 2 games. No, it was like 12 and 12 and
Because
2.
you're right on the fact Dak was 13-3. So by the time Carson got hurt, I'm relatively the same. You get into the
Like
playoffs.
11-3
Yeah, it was around there. So I mean,
But
to
Dak
have all that trust in Dak, and
But
he
Dak
did that.
lost Zeke last year for 6 games. He lost Sean Lee for 6 games. He lost Ty Smith for 4 games. It happens. If that's going to happen
yeah.
to
You lost
Carson
Jason
Wentz.
Peters.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of guys.
Well, was Nick Foles, not Carson Wentz.
But-
Nick Foles played the 2 greatest playoff games I've ever seen.
Played out of the
Absolutely.
mind.
Now he's on
You
the
gotta give him
sideline?
credit. You got to give him credit.
Really?
Absolutely.
But the guy they have in their night skip is a generational player. He has
Yes.
he has HOF potential.
Does
Yes.
he? Yeah, the
Absolutely.
deer. He's got deer in headlights
doesn't.
potential.
No, not at all. You've seen it.
DIH potential.
I think.
Deer in headlights.
I don't
Yep.
know.
I mean, do you think? Yes, Nick played very. I mean, you got to give him credit.
Oh,
my!
credit.
I love Nick. Foles.
Yeah, he's
my
holding the
baby
clipboard
brother,
now.
Darius Jackson, got his number tatted on his thigh because he
Did
said
he?
if he wins the Super Bowl, I'm gonna get his number tatted on my thigh, and he did.
Wow.
That's how crazy it is.
But think about it. Nick Foles was a completion because Atlanta had 4 cracks in the red zone, or there is nothing.
Who won the game?
defense was.
Oh, so now wins matter. You see? Now,
Now, but do you think we would have had the same record if Nick Foles plays the whole year last year? We had the same record, number
Well, he
1
was
seed
pretty
when
good.
Carson got
Yeah,
hurt.
I do.
No.
I do.
You just seen him play.
Yeah.
These-
I thought he was
some
really
record-
good at Tampa. Your defense was really not good at Tampa. Yeah.
We've been talking about the secondary needs some adjustment. Hope
So
they
let's
short
talk about your basketball career because you used to play and you still play at a
Get out
pretty
there a
high
little bit.
level, right?
Yeah.
And
I
once
get out
upon
there
a
a little
time,
bit.
you played AAU basketball on the same team with Paul George.
We had a lot of guys, Anthony Stover went to UCLA.
Yeah.
My late great friend Tyler Honeycutt went to UCLA, got drafted by the Kings. There's a lot of people that go underneath the pump and run umbrella. But not only that, Paul, he knocked me out my last high school game in CIF.
He did?
My senior year, very last game in the CIF quarterfinals, I believe, came to our house. We were even up with like 4 points with a minute and a half to go. Once he stole the ball, took it back on a fast break all the way back here, and boomed that bad boy and took the air out. At that moment.
You didn't miss any big shots by chance.
I don't actually. If anything, my first half was terrible.
Okay.
So was his, but our second halves were really something. But his was just
knowing him the way you know him, were you surprised he stayed in Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook?
As much as I do know, what I can remember from him, I think I actually was, because I thought it was like a big deal being made. Right, there was supposed to be like they're supposed to be following him, running around. I'm thinking, Palmdale's not too far from your family can come to every game. I was thinking, and I was gonna lower. I'm like, there's LeBron and all that. Did LeBron sign already by the time?
No,
not yet.
No.
But I think I'm.
But it looked like
it was gonna still. I'm thinking they were
deal.
packaging that up.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty intriguing. I'm thinking it's definitely league. It's win now. You're making as many moves to do that. I thought, and I was actually very shocked. I didn't think there was a chance he was staying there, to be honest. But
everybody can't play with LeBron. Everybody can't handle that pressure.
Well, right now, nobody is playing with LeBron.
But this is temporary.
Nobody.
2019.
You don't like
a
the
year
team
is
have?
temporary?
You don't like the talent that they have right now, the young talent? I like Brandon Ingram. I
like the
really
young
like.
I do.
and
I agree.
Kuzma.
And I love Lonzo. And I love Kuzma. I think there's a lot of young talent, and there's one guy in his 16th year. So what are you going to do with that?
Still the best player in the league.
I'm waiting for him to slow down. Yeah, that's the best player I've ever seen. I'm waiting for him to slow down.
Best player he's ever seen.
There was this guy named Jordan in Chicago. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
he's good.
It was
I know
before
who
your
he
time.
is. I was
before.
Scottie Pippen's my favorite player of all time, and Penny
Seriously?
Hardaway. Yeah,
Wait,
those are my two
Scottie
guys.
Pippen's your favorite over Michael Jordan?
Absolutely. I like.
He was like Tonto to the Lone Ranger.
The thing,
right?
I think Scottie's so underappreciated. That's a man that could guard 1 through 5.
By him.
1 through 5.
Kind of like LeBron guard 1 through 5, huh?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot. Yeah,
LeBron
there's a lot of
can
similarities.
guard nobody at this stage. He plays one-man zone.
Yeah.
So he guards 1 through 5 because they're all running around him. And
you know what?
Year
I'll take
15.
whoever
I don't know.
you like.
I feel like Jordan wasn't a lockdown defender on the Wizards, and he had a couple
not
years
on
off.
Wizards.
Well, he played.
That
That's
last
still year
in
15.
Chicago?
Like that's. But that's prime.
First team all defenses last year in Chicago. Oof. MVP.
What year was that?
You better take a big long drink.
I know. You leave it.
I get that long neck so I can hold you. You got that long neck.
Yeah.
That thing to the head, Jenny.
You're going to need it after this show.
Man. Also, I would like to point out for LeBron though that he, did go up against the greatest team in NBA history. I mean, nobody could ever say that they beat that team.
Yep.
So I think that goes a long way, though.
Quick thought on your Sixers. Win the East?
Celtics are healthy, but if Fultz is somebody who we want him to be,
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's them two in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's tough. It's tough.
Embiid, monster.
Is my favorite player.
Yep, me too.
And then Simmons just has to be that guy in
gotta
those
be that
moments,
guy.
and I think we could
Got
do
a
something.
shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. We finally agreed on something.
There you go. There
we go. Yes, right.
Everybody glad LeBron going out the East. That's what they're happy about. That's what they're most pleased.
Exactly.
The West is happy to have him.
Sarunas, you can come anytime if you bring
Yep.
Yeah, bearing
Bring
gifts.
Duke.
I mean, that's really, I'm impressed.
good.
You did your homework, your research.
Asked around.
Best of luck for
Good
the
luck.
rest
Appreciate
of
you,
your
man.
career
Thank
and
you
with
so
the
much.
show.
I
Hope y'all enjoy.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.